Welcome to the channel. I am Kay. Let's get into the news recap from yesterday's debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. It was 90 minutes of Kamala Harris taking it to Donald Trump in every answer and every response and every rebuttal. And Donald Trump was a rambling, incoherent mess, to say the least. I think that this is the best debate that I have watched in my lifetime. I have watched President Obama debate. I've watched President Clinton debate. I have watched President Biden debate. But this by far has been the best debate I have watched. Let's go ahead and get into some of the clips. The first clip I want to play is that Donald Trump and Kamala Harris coming onto the stage for the first time. Now, normally before a debate begins, the candidates meet in the middle of the floor. They shake hands, they take a picture for the camera, and then they go to their designated area. But Donald Trump looked like he was going to snub Kamala Harris the opportunity to shake his hand, but she made sure that she went over there and introduced herself, given the fact that they had never met. Donald Trump did give to Kamala Harris's campaign when she was running in California, but they had never officially met. Take a look at this clip.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
It was at that moment I know that Kamala Harris was ready to debate. She was ready to go, and I think her walking over there completely threw Donald Trump off. I don't think Donald Trump was expecting her to walk over there to him. I think that he wanted it to be an awkward moment for her, that he was not going to acknowledge her coming over there. He probably thought that she was going to turn back around and go to her own area, but Kamala Harris had time. Let's go ahead and get into what happened next in this debate. In the first 5 minutes of the debate, Kamala Harris made it very clear to the audience what they could expect from Donald Trump. And I must say, she must have read the tea leaves because she was dead on. Take a look at this clip.
I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you all in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name-calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. I believe very strongly that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us, and I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
Donald Trump in that moment looked like he was crawling out of his skin. He looked like he wanted to reach over there and pull Kamala Harris's hair. I could not believe the moving around that he was doing, how awkward and uncomfortable he seemed standing there. And to say that throughout this debate, Donald Trump did not make eye contact with Kamala Harris, not one time for the entirety of this debate. I thought that was really strange. But let's take a look at his response. Take a look at this clip.
She knows better than anyone. I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas. I guess some good, some bad. But it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic. And the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs bounced back, and it bounced back and it went to their benefit. But I was the one that created them. They know it, and so does everybody else.
This was the entirety of the debate. Donald Trump going on rants and rambling about things that had nothing to do with the original question. Like, this was the entire debate. But let's go ahead and move on. The next question that came up was Roe v. Wade. Of course, we know how this is going to go. Take a look at this clip.
That you were proud to be the most pro-life president in American history. Then last month, you said that your administration would be great for women and their reproductive rights. In your home state of Florida, you surprised many with regard to your 6-week abortion ban, because you initially had said that it was too short. And you said, quote, I'm going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. But then the very next day, you reversed course and said you would vote to support the 6-week ban. Vice President Harris says that women shouldn't trust you on the issue of abortion because you've changed your position so many times. Therefore, why should they trust you?
Well, the reason I'm doing that vote is because the plan is, as you know, the vote is, they have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before. He said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that. And her vice presidential pick, which I think was a horrible pick, by the way, for our country, because he is really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me, hence the vote. But what I did is something for 52 years. They've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. And through the genius and heart and strength of 6 Supreme Court justices, we were able to do that. Now, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also. 85% of Republicans do. Exceptions. Very important. But we were able to get it, and now states are voting on it. And for the first time, you're going to see, look, this is an issue that's torn our country apart for 52 years. Every legal scholar, every Democrat, every Republican, liberal, conservative, they all wanted this issue to be brought back to the states where the people could vote. And that's what happened. Now, Ohio, the vote was somewhat liberal. Kansas, the vote was somewhat liberal, much more liberal than people would have thought. But each individual state is voting. It's the vote of the people now. It's not tied up in the federal government. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it. And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
This is how, like, Donald Trump was just rambling, and repeating himself over and over and over again. Like, to watch him flail in real time and then to go back and watch it. It's like, did we really subject ourselves to this for since 2015? Donald Trump has now ran for president 3 times, and now it seems like he really is on the decline. And I'm not saying that to be funny, but Donald Trump just repeats himself and he rambles on and on and on. The question was simple. It's either you support it or you don't. He's saying, I kind of support it, but maybe not in that case. I leave it to the states. I have exceptions. It was a mess. It was a mess, and the look on Kamala Harris's face is priceless. She is looking at him like, oh, bless his heart. And I would have the same. Yeah, let's keep moving on. So Kamala Harris responds to Trump saying that they were going to take away guns. This was an epic and brilliant takedown by Kamala Harris. Let's take a look at this, and we will be back on the other side of the clip. Take a look.
To that, Lindsay, I just need to respond to a previous point that the former president has made. I've made very clear my position on fracking, and then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Did we see the look on Donald Trump's face? She lit him up. Like, you are not going to just constantly and consistently tell lies and get away with it. We are not going to do that. And she did not let up off of his neck for the entirety of this debate. It was epic. In this next clip, Kamala Harris could not resist herself. She talked about Donald Trump's rally and encouraged people to attend one of his rallies, and this really pushed Donald Trump over the edge. Take a look at this clip.
About immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the
Please.
rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in
Donald Trump is like, you can talk about Melania, you can talk about Don Jr., you can talk about any one of my family members you want, but you will not talk about my crowd sizes and my rallies. That is like the attitude that he had. Kamala Harris knew that she had Donald Trump on the ropes. She had her hands on her chin, looking at him like, I knew this would bait you. And it absolutely did. It sent him flailing. It sent him over the edge. Donald Trump was not happy about her discussing his rally sizes or his crowd sizes. So, and to accuse her of having people bust in or to pay them, we know that there have been ads and advertisings and rumors, I'm going to say, that there are ads posted for people to attend Trump rallies. This has been something that has been going on since 2020. I never went and did any type of research to find out if it was actually true. I've only seen other journalists talk about it, but I don't know that there is any truth to it. I just find it funny that Donald Trump brought that up, even though people have accused him of having people paid to come to his rally. Hence why they're coming, fulfilling their duties, and leaving. That was the whole gesture, but that's neither here nor there. Let's move on. So this is the clip that is making its rounds on social media. This exploded last night after Donald Trump said it. Donald Trump accused migrants of eating dogs and cats. Take a look at what happened during this exchange. Take a look.
Done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase.
This is absolutely insane. This is the person that wants to be president of the United States. Donald Trump literally took something on social media that was factually proving not to be an actual thing and accused President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris of letting Haitian immigrants in that are taking people's pets and eating them. What is happening here? Like, is he for real? He's so serious about this. Donald Trump knows that this is not a real thing. JD Vance even acknowledged that there may not be any truth to it in his post, but that did not stop them from pushing this lie forward, and hence why Donald Trump got on the debate stage, making himself sound and look crazy by accusing people of eating other people's pets. Oh. Let's move on. By the 50-minute mark, I believe that Donald Trump was over it. He was ready to go. He was upset. He was angry. Kamala Harris was getting under his skin. She was attacking him and every response that she gave, and he was over it. Take a look at this clip, and I'll be back on the other side.
Of more innocent civilians in Gaza.
If I were president, it would have never started. If I were president, Russia would have never ever. I know Putin very well. He would have never, and there was no threat of it either, by the way, for 4 years, have gone into Ukraine and killed millions of people when you add it up. Far worse than people understand what's going on over there. But when she mentions about Israel, all of a sudden, she hates Israel. She wouldn't even meet with Netanyahu when he went to Congress to make a very important speech. She refused to be there because she was at a sorority party of hers. She wanted to go to the sorority party. She hates Israel. If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at predictions, and I hope I'm wrong about that one. She hates Israel. At the same time, in her own way, she hates the Arab population because the whole place is going to get blown up. Arabs, Jewish people, Israel will be gone. It would have never happened. Iran was broke under Donald Trump. Now Iran has $300 billion because they took off all the sanctions that I had. Iran had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah or any of the 28 different spheres of terror. And they are spheres of terror, horrible terror. They had no money. It was a big story, and you know it. You covered it very well, actually. They had no money for terror. They were broke. Now they're a rich nation, and now what they're doing is they're spreading that money around. Look at what's happening with the Houthis and Yemen. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. This would have never happened. I will get that settled and fast, and I'll get the war with Ukraine and Russia ended. If I'm president-elect, I'll get it done before even becoming president.
Vice President Harris, he says...
Donald Trump was over it. He was like, you guys have been asking me questions now for over 50 minutes, and I'm done. Like, listen, I don't want to hear any more of your questions. I'm not here to answer any more of your questions. He's not answering the questions that they're asking. The question was about his support for Ukraine. That was the question. And how he would support Ukraine. So he said, no, I'm not going to talk about that. What is wrong with you people? I'm going to talk about what it is that I am wanting to talk about. And that is that. That was a rambling, incoherent, angry mess. No, we're not. No. And then the question about Donald Trump's attack on Kamala Harris's race and saying that she is just now turning black. Take a look at what Donald Trump had to say when he was asked this question. Take a look.
You recently said of Vice President Harris, quote, "I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black." I want to ask a bigger picture question here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something. I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words, so I'm asking...
I don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was not black, that she put out, and I'll say that. And then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her. That's up to her.
Vice President Harris, your thought.
I don't care what she is. And then you said you read that she puts out. A president for the United States, a potential candidate for the United States, is saying this. Donald, really? To say that I don't care what she is, what does that even mean? And then to follow up by saying, I heard that she puts out. Is Donald Trump, is he okay? Sir, I realize that you have been on stage for a very long time and you are probably tired, sleepy, and cranky, but really? This is what you're going to do? This was absolutely unnecessary and so beneath anybody running for any office or applying for any job. This was unacceptable on so many levels. And I think that Vice President Kamala Harris won this debate hands down. She started off strong and she ended strong. She answered the questions while also taking little jabs at Donald Trump in every single response and answer that she gave. Donald Trump did not recover from the very first question until the very last question. He could not get it together. He could not put two sentences together to make a coherent answer. Everything was rambling and off the subject. He was not at all prepared for this debate. I don't know if Donald Trump thought that he could not prepare for debate against a former prosecutor and come out on top. Even though Donald Trump said he won this debate, there's no chance that he won this debate. Even Republicans are saying that this debate was a disaster for Donald Trump. If he's going to do a second debate, I highly doubt it. He's saying that Kamala Harris's team is calling for one, and he does not know that he's going to do one. I don't think it would be in his best interest politically to do another one, honestly. I'm looking forward to seeing the debate between Governor Walz and J.D. Vance, and I am looking forward to seeing what Kamala Harris has to say going forward on the campaign trail. I think this was a great debate for her, and if independent voters or undecided voters, not independent voters, but if undecided voters are still undecided, at this point, you're literally just being petty. Because if you cannot see the difference in the two candidates, then you definitely have not been paying attention. That is all I've got. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you sound off in the comment section. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.